Alrighty guys, this is snugsonblitz and I'm back with another video for you today. This is an extra little video to try and help someone out. I ran into a guy in a game the other day. He played very poorly in this tank and I was like, what are you doing? It's not that hard. He actually wanted me to help him, so I tried to give him some tips. He argued a little bit, telling me this and that he knew what he was doing, and I said, no you don't. I said, your stats reflected, and I tried to explain to him, but did he want to listen? No, not really. But he wasn't rude, and I am happy to share my thoughts. He really wanted me to platoon with him, so I did for one game. Unfortunately, he doesn't really know how to platoon yet, but I wanted to make this video for him to hopefully give him some ideas on how to play this tank. I might have done a review of this tank before on my channel, but just in case I haven't, I'll do a quick one here. I'm just going to sum it up really quickly. It's a standard heavy tank. It does heavy stuff. It bounces shells, it can do no damage, it's not very fast, you know, usual standard heavy tank. If you can play this tank, you can play a lot of heavy tanks because they're very similar. So I've got two games for you. Let's jump right into the first one. Now, this is the game I was actually in with this guy who needed the help. Look at the lineups. Well, they have a Smasher, problem. They have a KV-2, which is also a problem. They've got a platoon of those PZ-4S Star Wars tank, which can be problematic. They've got good gun depression, good armor, good gun, good speed. We have a Tiger 1, and that's about it. They also have an SU-100Y. That's also painful. We have a Super Hellcat and the WZ for our tank destroyers, but yeah, the Super Hellcat could be good. It's got great reload and stuff, but it's got no armor, so if he gets spotted, that's going to be the end of him if he's not careful. But he's heading over this way, so that's good news. The WZ, he's coming here to support us, I hope, at least. And the game commences. Unfortunately, the platoon buddy who jumped in with me, I don't know why he's late to the game, but this is what happened in the previous game. That's always problematic because you don't, or you aren't able to get into a good position. It's not the end of the world though, because you're not dying, you're not rushing to your death, right? YOLOing is the worst thing you can do. Okay, so we've got 2 meds here versus 3, and they have a tier 7 in the LTTB. Decent armor, good speed. But these guys are not pushing up too aggressively, which tells me they kind of know what they're doing, because they're afraid of getting hit by a tank destroyer. Now look at the minimap, my buddy's actually awake. The Tiger's not in the right position. He's really not. He really needs to be on the hill in the center there, and he's not, so can't quite get my gun down, but that's okay. Take a hit for my trouble, take another hit for my trouble. Now we've got tank destroyers somewhere, guys. Okay, so we've lost one tank. Not good news at all. Our Tiger, gone in seconds. Okay, now we've lost a med, so we've lost pretty much the heavy side, and we're gonna lose this side too. It's now 4 versus 7. There's no chance of us winning, but do I charge to my death? I could, but you know what? I want to see how much I can do before I die. And that's something you guys should do if you're newer players. Just challenge yourself. How much damage can you do until you die? I mean, yes, I know there's going to be games where they're just going to rush you and you're going to die. I get it. But you can just see, hey, wow, I was able to bounce that shot, or that tank couldn't pen me if I did this. You can test out things. Look at the shot. Lovely little shot. Now, I know the LTTB has bad gun depression, so he can't really get his gun down, but he's got the speed, so once he comes in, we're in a little bit of trouble. I don't really want to focus the LTTB, but it is what it is. I'm just going to back it up. It's now 3 versus 5. Yeah, this victory. I mean, it's not a very good tank to begin with, but yeah, so I'm just going to back on up here. It's now 2 versus 5. We've got a WZ in the back. I don't think he's fired the entire game as far as I can tell, because oh, he's actually moving. I can see it on the mini-map now, but yeah, he was pretty useless. His position was horrible. Very weak position because he wasn't up high. It's a tank that needs to get up high. Anyway, bounce another shell there. So, you know what? this game tells me is that if I've got this tank, if I just face mediums, I should be able to balance a few shells, even from higher tier tanks. And that's not a bad lesson. If I'm in a mouse and I face a T-62 frontally, if I just wiggle my tank around, chances are he's probably going to bounce unless he really aims in. And even then, it might be hard for him. The question is, do they know what they're doing? You can kind of tell if a player really knows what they're doing because they're really looking for those pinpoint spots. I've been lit up here. I can't escape. I'm too slow. I don't have great camo values, and there's 3 of them. So, again, just trying to do damage until I die. Here's 1 shot. Okay, that was nice. I should get 2 more shots, but you're going to see what happens. This shot, I mean, just sailed past him, unfortunate. And here he comes. He's coming for damage, and why not? Wouldn't you? He's got courage. I respect that. Some people are afraid, even with 1 tank left, and they've got like 4 on their team. They're like, oh, I don't want to take a hit. I'm like, freaking go. Who cares? So 2,179. I told my buddy, you made a mistake. You should have stayed with me. Just, why don't you help your platoon mate? If you're a new player, never leave your platoon mate. You've seen the movie Top Gun? If not, go watch it. Anyway, moving into our second game, we have this one on Lagoon. And I really like this map in the sense that you can go left, you can go right, it's got something for everyone, TDs, fast tanks, heavy tanks. I've mentioned this before, but I really like it, although I think for comp it's maybe a little big. Nevertheless, I still think it's a great map. Okay, now our path is heading over here. I think that clan is okay. Not great, but not horrible. So I would like to maybe support them. He's pushed up to almost C, which is good news. Unfortunately, he takes 1 hit, takes 2 hits. He's fired nothing in return, or he's hit nothing in return, I should say. He's gotten 3 hits, and if I look back, he's taken 4 hits. He might have taken 5 hits, who knows? I'm just going to go this way, and ooh. Now, unfortunately lost that panther. I really wanted that shot, but I didn't really want to sit out in the open. Now, I noticed that KV5 took a quick shot. Now, that tells me he doesn't really know what he's doing. A KV2 is not a tank you want to do snapshots with. You want to take your time and aim in. So he's not the best KV2 player, so I'd love to get rid of him. Juto's over here. Maybe the 2 of us can... Oh, KV1S is here as well. So, okay, now look at that shot. I mean, it missed me by a mile. So, yeah, the KV2 is a special player. But even special players get lucky. I'm backing up here, take it for my trouble. I was hoping that Juto would push in a little bit. He's not, so... Okay. The T-43's pushed in. I'd love to get rid of him. He's a tier 7 tank, and I have no problem tussling with the big boys. Who cares? I figure someone has to, right? Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to get rid of him, but I will peek around, and nope, that didn't happen. So I'm going to get for my trouble. That's okay, though. I'm just going to wait here, because guess what? I think these tanks are going to back on up into my gun. Yes. Now, you can't expect tanks to just back on up into your gun or walk into your gun every time. You can't just sit there. But in this case, I highly suspected it. Why? Because our team is pushing in on them, and they're focused on them, not me. So they don't see me as a threat. Now, if this was tier 10 and they were good players, they would move differently. They would put themselves in different positions. But they didn't. And this PS43, P43, whatever it is, BIS, or... Why did you walk in front of me? And the worst thing you can do is walk in front of your teammate as he's about to fire, block his shot, and then miss your shot. So it's like, wow, so you basically took 2 shots off the field. Now the Cromwell here, he thinks he can get away from me because he's a heavy, but I can ram him, I can hit him, and I can also bounce him. How do I know that? Because most Cromwell players are not very good. And I'm in a quite strongly armored heavy tank. So a lot of those light caliber guns, the A4 Sentinel, Sherman, Firefly, they may struggle to pen this tank. Now, if they're using gold shells, premium shells, Pramo, whatever you want to call it, then all bets are off. But a lot of players don't use them, I'm telling you. So in tier 6, I don't think a lot of players are using them. In tier 8 and up, yeah, a lot of people do use them. So you just got to know who you're dealing with. Now, watch this. I know the KV2 has a big gun, but if he focuses me, I should be able to bounce one shot. I mean, I would take one shot, but I bounced it. So once he's fired, he's useless, and it gives the J Panther cutters to push in, of course, even more. I think the J Panther would have been fine without me, but you never know. Looking down like that, KV2 could have gotten a lucky shot in on his Lower Glacius. Who knows? Anyway, 2 quick games just to help out this guy. If you guys have a tank that you need help with, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Of course, do all the jazz. I'd really appreciate it. Tell your friends, share this on social media, do something, anything to help the channel would be much appreciated. That's all I got for you. I'll see you next time. Snugs on Blitz, out.